Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Ask Amity Show. My name's Edmund.
I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're the attorneys here at Amity Law Group in Rosemead, California.
Today I'm really excited about this episode because we get to answer one of the most common questions we get asked as estate planning attorneys. The question is, when do I need a living trust? In our experience, clients ask us this all the time. People ask us, do I need a living trust? Do I need a will? So I think this is a really important question that we should all answer.
And so I think the most kind of common answer that we provide is that anytime you own a home, a real property, you should have a living trust done. The reason being, the kind of cutoff range is $150,000. So that's the magic number that we need to keep in mind. If you have assets that exceed $150,000, then you technically need a living trust in order to avoid probate and a list of all these, other issues. And having a home in California, I'm sure, as we all know, it is easily beyond $150,000.
Right. Cindy, for people that don't know what a living trust is, can you explain a little bit?
So a living trust is, again, a set of documents that basically lays out your wishes and what it is that you want to happen with your property. So, as Jen said, with the real property in California, most real properties exceed $150,000 in California, and it's usually our biggest asset, and we want to make sure that it's protected. And a lot of people think, well, I don't have $150,000 in the home, and it's not about that. It's not about how much equity you've paid into the home or what you have left on the loan of the home, but it's about the estimated value of the home at the time.
Yeah, that's really important. I think some people, they aren't aware that, even if you have a large mortgage against the home, it's not, again, like what Cindy said, it's not how much you owe or how much you actually attained or in equity. It's the total value at the time of death. So some people will say, well, I bought the home, years ago, it was only $145,000. So I'm under that, but it's technically the value at the time of death. So it could be well over that amount.
Right, and another reason why you should consider a living trust is if you have kids and you want to make sure that if something happens to you, they don't get your hands on the property in the sense where they can just spend it all on a weekend, on cars, on unnecessary luxurious things. And so with living trust, what you can write in there is you can specifically state what your kids can use your money, your assets for. So for example, for education, for paying rent, for taking care of their own kids, those are specific things that you can regulate and make sure that they don't waste your money.
And another kind of mechanism that our clients use is they customize it where they stagger the distribution, right? So it could be based on what Edmund said for a certain purpose, or it also could be by a certain time frame. So maybe by age restrictions, marital status. So it's very useful where you can customize it pretty much any which way you would like. So it's very, very good for controlling your kids' spending if you think maybe they're still too young, or you're concerned that the asset and the estate is really large. You don't want them to be, have some sort of liability or that type of issue. Then a living trust is really a key tool.
Right.
And it's not just for people who have real property. Lots of people have significant assets, significant sums in investment accounts. So anything, again, if you've got more than $150,000 in assets, you want to make sure that you've established your living trust so that you know exactly where those funds are going to go.
Right, and I think last but not least, what a living trust does is it also allows you to pick someone to manage your assets for you. So if you don't trust your kids, or you do trust a particular child of yours to manage all your assets, you want to make sure that that person or that child has the sole responsibility and sole right to do that on your behalf. So a troubled child or an incapacitated spouse can't manage your assets because managing the assets is a big deal. They control everything from the banks to how your real properties are managed, and so you want someone competent, you want someone that you trust to manage all those assets for you. All right, I think we've covered everything when it comes to scenarios where it makes sense for you to set up a living trust to protect your assets, protect your kids in the event that they might use your money for certain things that you don't want them to. So that's it for this episode. If you have any questions that you'd like us to answer, please leave a comment below and we'll answer them for you on our next show. See you later.